I'm going to show you 10 of the cheapest fat loss options on the planet. Backed by science, easy to follow, and perfect if you're watching your budget. Some of them cost a few cents a day, some of them are completely free. And the one I'm saving for the end, it'll actually save you money while you lose weight. This first fat loss strategy might be the only one that's totally free. Drinking water. Not only is it nearly cost free, but done correctly, it could also save you up to $700 a year while helping you lose fat faster than most paid diet plans. Let's start with how it affects hunger. Drinking 2 cups of water 30 minutes before a meal fills the stomach, stretches the stomach walls, sends the "I'm full" signal to your brain, and naturally helps you eat less. In one study, people who followed this simple habit lost an extra 4 to 5 pounds in 12 weeks without changing anything else. But it gets even better. Replacing just one sugary drink a day, like a soda, a juice, a sweet coffee, can lead to another 5 to 15 pounds lost, depending on how consistent you are with it and how much of that stuff you were drinking before. The metabolism also gets a boost by about 30% for 40 minutes after drinking just a half a liter of water. All of this without paying for powders or pills or plans. So here's the simple routine to follow if you want to maximize fat loss with water. First, drink 2 big glasses first thing in the morning. You've been dehydrated all night long, so this helps wake your metabolism and your digestion up. Then drink 2 more glasses about 30 minutes before lunch and dinner. This is the exact habit that led to the biggest fat loss in multiple studies. And anytime you feel hungry, try water first, especially at nighttime, because thirst often shows up as hunger to your brain. And you just might discover that you weren't actually hungry after all and could have skipped the snack. You were just thirsty. And finally, going back to what I said about saving money, if you normally spend $2 a day on drinks, whether it's a soda, bottled tea, flavored coffee, or a juice, switching to water could save you over $700 a year. And unlike those drinks, many of which spike blood sugar levels and stall fat loss, water accelerates your fat loss results. So you're saving cash and calories at the same time. That same win-win shows up on your plate too, because some of the most powerful fat-burning foods are also some of the cheapest. I'm talking about natural foods that you can buy that trigger something in your body called GLP-1. That is your body's natural hunger regulating hormones, and you can activate it with everyday low-cost ingredients that work just as well as expensive prescriptions like Ozempic or Wegovy, but without all the side effects or the $1,000 price tag. So here are some of the best GLP-1 boosting foods, and yes, they are budget friendly. Beans at the top of the list. One study showed people who swapped white rice for beans lost 6 pounds in 12 weeks. And dry beans are extremely cheap. They can cost as little as 50 cents a pound. Eggs are another go-to. Eating eggs for breakfast helped people eat 400 fewer calories throughout the day. Even with the price jumps, there's still a budget protein. Some other GLP-1 boosters include chia seeds, sauerkraut, cucumbers, broccoli, avocado, kefir, leafy greens, and olive oil. Now, many of these stay affordable if you buy them frozen, buy them in bulk, or shop in season, especially locally. If you want the full list of GLP-1 foods, be sure to check out my video on the top 13. I'll link that video below in the description for you. Now, to get the best results with these foods, combine fat, protein, and fiber in the same meal. Each one activates GLP-1 differently, and together they create a stronger appetite suppressing effect. And just eat your normal meals every 3 to 4 hours. You don't have to snack in between unless you're intentionally fasting, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But if you're skipping the meals too often or not getting those solid nutrients, you can crash your GLP-1s down, which can lead to a little bit of a rebound in hunger if you don't ease your way down on it, which I'll show you a little bit later. But when you get the timing right, and it's a healthy breakfast, healthy lunch, healthy dinner, you'll stay full, your cravings will stay low, and your grocery bill will stay under control. Next up is a strategy that's hot, literally, and dirt cheap. Spicy foods like pepper and hot sauce can help your body burn more calories, control hunger, and support fat loss. All of this for just a few cents a serving. The key ingredient is capsaicin. That's the compound that makes spicy food hot. It activates thermogenesis. That's why you sweat a bit when you're eating spicy food. Your body's internal heating system helps you burn more calories even when you're at rest. Some studies show that you can burn an extra 50 to 116 calories per day just from adding spicy foods to your meals. Capsaicin does more than just heat things up. It helps your body convert white fat into brown fat, the kind that burns energy, and it reduces your appetite. In fact, one study showed people who added spice to their meals ate up to 18% fewer calories without even trying. Now, stack that with the price tag. It costs less than 50 cents for a week's worth of jalapenos and just a couple bucks for a bottle of hot sauce. Just make sure there's no toxic ingredients and sugars added. That's a tiny investment for a habit that turns up fat burning in almost every meal. And you don't need to go for an extreme heat. I couldn't handle it anyway. You don't have to do that to get the results. In fact, people new to spicy foods often see the biggest benefits because they're not used to having that thermogenic effect, and it doesn't take much. So start mild. Try banana peppers in a salad. They're fantastic. Poblanos, or just a few drops of a hot sauce on some eggs. Even sweet bell peppers can even work to add a little bit of it. They contain capsaicin, a capsaicin-like compound. It activates the same fat-burning pathways without the burn. So for best results, aim to include spicy meals 2 to 4 times a week. And if you have digestive issues, take it slow. But for most people, this is an easy, affordable way to turn up the fat loss without turning your wallet inside out. Now, once the day winds down, there's another fat-burning strategy waiting for you, one that doesn't cost a thing and takes zero effort. It all starts with the moment your head hits the pillow. Getting quality sleep doesn't cost a dime, but it can have a bigger impact on fat loss than supplements, shakes, or even most diet hacks. Here's why sleep is so important. Sleep controls 2 key hunger hormones: leptin, which tells your brain that you're full, ghrelin, which tells your brain that you're hungry. So when you're sleep deprived, leptin drops, so you don't feel full, and ghrelin rises, which means you're getting hungrier. Also, you burn more fat while you sleep than most people realize. REM sleep, that's your deeper sleep, is the dream-filled kind of sleep, is when your brain burns through the most glucose. That resets your metabolism and improves insulin sensitivity, both of which help you burn fat. And the results? According to one study, people who get enough sleep lose 55% more fat and preserve 60% more muscle than people who don't. Another study found that increasing sleep led people to eat 270 fewer calories per day without even trying. That's 26 pounds lost in a year from better sleep alone. So here's how to do it right. Aim for 7 to 9 hours. That's the sweet spot for fat loss. Consistency matters. Go to bed and wake up at the same time, even on the weekends. Next, keep your room dark and keep it cool. Studies show that at 65 degrees, your body starts to activate brown fat. No reason to go below that. If you get a little chilly, use a blanket or stick your leg out to take advantage of it. But that's the fat that burns calories to maintain body temperature. Also, before you go to bed, avoid screens. Blue lights, phones, TVs, they disrupt your melatonin. That delays deep sleep, which is when most fat burning happens. And then finally, stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bedtime to avoid disrupting your natural overnight fast. That nighttime window is when fat burning hormones peak if you let them. But if you have too big of a meal, you'll disrupt it. Next, most people overlook this, but some of the best fat loss comes from what's happening between your ears. It's not just what's on your plate. Mindfulness and de-stressing and stress management are totally free. They take just minutes a day, and they've been shown in studies to triple weight loss results for some people. In one study, women who added simple stress management techniques like deep breathing, like paced breathing that I teach in my free book posted below, or meditation, they lost 3 times more weight than those who didn't. That wasn't from eating less, it was just from lowering cortisol, the hormone that drives belly fat and cravings when you're stressed out. Another analysis looked at multiple studies and found that people using mindfulness techniques lost an average of 6.8 pounds in 8 to 12 weeks. With no workouts, no calorie counting, no meal plan. So how do you do it? You can take your pick. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day of focused breathing or meditation can help you interrupt emotional eating. I like to call them nature's smoke break. Pretend like you're smoking a cigarette, just don't smoke a cigarette. That's the breathing pattern you do. 5-second deep breaths in, 5-second deep breath out. It's a paced breathing technique. Do it when you don't have earbuds in or sunglasses on. Go outside, go for a walk, calm your brain down and breathe.
And if you feel the urge to snack, pause for 30 seconds, take a little break and ask, am I actually hungry? Or am I just stressed? Or am I bored? Or am I triggered? That single habit can stop thousands of extra calories over time. You can also just try slowing down before your meals. Take 2 to 3 deep breaths before you eat. I tend to sometimes eat really quickly, just like my grandpa used to. It helps to shift your body out of stress mode and into rest and digest mode. That boosts digestion, calms your cravings, and tells your body it's safe, not stressed. So this mindfulness, this de-stressing won't replace nutrition or exercise, but it makes both easier to stick with. And all it costs you is a few minutes of your focus each day. Next, when it comes to fat burning on a budget, coffee might be one of the best deals out there. Drinking 4 cups of coffee a day has been linked to a 4.1% reduction in body fat, even without changes to diet or exercise. And for a 200-pound person, that's about 8 pounds of fat that can be lost in a 6-month period of time. So how does it work? First, caffeine boosts metabolism. So one study showed a 7% increase in calorie burn over 3 hours just from one single cup. It also unlocks stored fat by triggering hormones that break it down to be used for energy. Second, coffee activates brown fat. That's the kind of fat we've been talking about that burns calories to generate heat. Thirdly, it can help reduce your appetite, helping you naturally eat fewer calories later in the day. But here's what really makes it effective. It's cheap. Brew your coffee at home and you can spend as little as 25 cents a cup. And if that helps you lose 8 pounds in 6 months, that's like $22 per pound of fat loss. Now, a few tips to make it work. Stick to 2 to 4 cups a day. More than that can interfere with your sleep or it can even make you jittery. Avoid the added sugars, the artificial sugars, or the toxic creamers. These can really cancel out the benefits of coffee fast. If your coffee upsets your stomach, try a low acid coffee, a lighter roast, or even try it cold or brewed. A lot of those are more gentle on the system. And if you don't use coffee as a meal replacement, your body still needs real food and nutrients. Make sure that your coffee is organic. It doesn't have lots of chemicals in it because now you're maybe losing weight, but you're storing more chemicals. So make sure it's quality. I just make an organic one that's low acid to help myself, my family to be able to enjoy it. You can check that one out down below. Your body still needs real food and nutrients, but bottom line, a cup of coffee costs less than a quarter. And when used right, it might be one of the most affordable fat burning tools that you'll find. Coffee isn't the only drink that delivers big results on a tiny budget. There's another drink that helps you lose weight and only costs around 15 cents a cup. That's green tea. It's one of the cheapest fat burning tools available. Research shows that it can help you lose up to 7 pounds in 12 weeks with no extreme dieting required. Here's how it works. Green tea contains EGCG. That's short for epigallocatechin gallate. This is a natural antioxidant that breaks down stored fat. It increases calorie burn and it blocks fat absorption from food. And when combined with caffeine, the effect gets even stronger. In one study, they found that people who drank green tea before exercise burned 35% more fat than during their workouts. Other studies show increased metabolism, better insulin sensitivity, reduction in both belly fat and total body fat, even with no other diet changes. And the cost, let's do the math, drinking 3 cups a day for 12 weeks would be around $38. That means if you lose 5 pounds during that time, and many people do, you're spending just $7.50 per pound of fat loss, which can make it even more affordable than coffee. So to get the most out of green tea, drink 2 to 3 cups a day, ideally 30 minutes before breakfast or before a workout. Don't add other sugars or toxic creamers to it that'll negate the effects. Steep it at 160 to 180 degrees for a couple of minutes. If you go too hot, it can actually destroy some of the fat burning compounds. You can use loose leaf or you can use plain tea bags. Just make sure that they're in non-toxic bags if you're going to use those. And I like those versions because they're oftentimes more effective and they're usually cheaper than some kind of fancy matcha or bottled version. If you're caffeine sensitive, drink it earlier in the day, or you can try decaf tea in the evening. Don't expect miracles from green tea alone, but as part of a smart fat loss plan, it's a low-cost upgrade with real science behind it. If you're looking for even more ways to boost results without breaking the bank, supplements can fill in gaps. There's some that cost less per day than even a cup of green tea, and in some cases, less than a penny, while still delivering real results. First, let's start with the cheapest per pound fat burner on the list, apple cider vinegar. Studies show that taking 1 to 2 tablespoons a day led to 5 all the way up to 15 pounds of weight loss in 12 weeks in subjects, especially when taken with meals. That's thanks to the compound called acetic acid. Acetic acid lowers insulin spikes, suppresses your appetite, activates fat-burning enzymes, and reduces belly fat. Not just body weight, belly fat. And based on the market prices, apple cider vinegar could cost as little as 32 to 69 cents per pound of fat loss. It's literally one of the most cost-effective fat loss strategies available, period. Now, in order to get the results, dilute a tablespoon into water and then just drink it before meals. You can use a straw if you want to protect your teeth, and consider rinsing your mouth out right afterwards with some more water just to be safe to protect your teeth. You could also do it in a capsule form if you just can't do the liquid, because I know it doesn't taste that great. I do make an ACV organic capsule form, but the liquid form works amazing as well. Next is ginger, which boosts the metabolism, helps control hunger. It increases thermogenesis, that's the process that your body uses to burn calories with heat. It also helps activate brown fat, the kind we've been talking about that burns energy instead of storing it. In one study, people who ate 2 grams of ginger per day lost 3.5 pounds in 8 to 12 weeks. And it only costs about 1 to 2 cents per day for 2 grams of fresh ginger. So that means you're only paying around 21 to 41 cents per pound of fat loss. That's serious return for a root that's probably already in your kitchen. Now, when taking ginger, you can add it to tea, you can add it to smoothies, you can add it to meals, or you can take it in a capsule form if you need something quick and you need something easy. Just avoid sugary ginger drinks like ginger ale. Stick to your more, powdered form where you can add it. It's an acquired taste. It's maybe not for everybody, but you can get really good results with it. Next is cinnamon. This is one of my favorites. It can really help regulate blood sugar and insulin, has a big effect on fat storage. In one review of 12 clinical studies, people that took 2 grams per day lost about 2.2 pounds in 12 weeks. So at that dose, it would cost you 7 cents a day, or about $2.50 per pound of fat loss. Now, you might not be ingesting 2 grams of cinnamon each day, but this is an easy one to add to smoothies. Coffee is my favorite way to add it and take it in. Tea, yogurt, you could sprinkle it over any other foods that you're eating for great blood sugar support. Next is moringa, which is loaded with antioxidants and helps regulate blood sugar, helps reduce inflammation, helps to support healthy cholesterol levels, all which support fat loss. In a 12-week study, overweight people taking a moringa blend lost 7.2 pounds on average, with improvements in BMI, blood pressure, and their waist size. And get this, a bottle of quality moringa powder or capsules can cost as little as $19 for a month's supply, or about $7 per pound of fat loss. Just make sure you purchase a high quality version. There's a lot of moringa brands out there. They use a bunch of fillers, or they use fake dose claims because you're using extracts as opposed to the actual leaves of moringa. So I made my own version of this. It's 100% organic, filler-free, it's lab tested, and it delivers a nice 1,000 milligram clinical dose that's shown to actually work. So if you're interested, I'll include a link to that below in the description. Number 5 on the supplement list is berberine. It's one of the best research natural compounds for blood sugar and insulin control. Helps similarly to metformin, but without the prescription or the price tag. In fact, studies show that berberine can help people lose 4 to 5 pounds in 12 weeks. And it can help reduce belly fat and help support healthy cholesterol levels. The cost is around $20 a month for the recommended dose. I usually combine it with other supplements like in our liver support to get a nice daily amount, which then comes out to be about $11 per pound of fat loss. It's a reminder that burning fat doesn't have to come with a huge price tag. And that brings us to the most affordable tip of all. All the fat loss methods so far that we've discussed can cost you something: time, money, energy. But this one, it actually pays you to lose weight. So what is it? Fasting. Fasting is one of the only weight loss strategies that saves you money while helping you burn fat. People who skip just one meal a day can reduce their food spending by almost 40%. That's $4 to $5 saved per day, or over $100 a month. And the results are real. A review of 40 studies on intermittent fasting showed that an average weight loss of 7 to 11 pounds in people in 10 weeks. Most of that weight was body fat, not muscle. Alternate day fasting, where you eat normally one day and then eat very little the next day, can result in 7 to 8 pounds of fat lost in just 12 to 24 weeks. But the most powerful version is called early time restricted eating, or as I like to call it, night fasting. This is where you eat your meals earlier in the day. Say breakfast at 8 and then dinner or lunch and dinner at 3. I do this regularly now. I really enjoy getting 2 just hearty protein, fat, fiber meals, one for breakfast, one for that dinner at 3 o'clock. And then you fast through the evening, overnight, and don't eat until the next morning. You have lots of time to burn up the meals that you're eating. That's why I love it for being so effective. And you keep all of that digestion away from and protecting your sleep. In one study, people who followed the schedule lost 5.1 more pounds than those eating the same foods later in the day. And they specifically lost more abdominal fat. That's the fat linked to heart disease and blood sugar issues. And the reason fasting works so well is because insulin drops, which unlocks human growth hormone, which increases by up to 1,200%, helping preserve muscle while also burning fat. Your appetite decreases over time, not increasing, and your body gets better at switching between burning carbs and burning fat, what scientists call metabolic flexibility. Best of all, the timing matters more than the length. People who start fasting earlier in the evening had up to 53% lower risk of obesity, even if their fast wasn't longer than others. So what's the best way to start? Begin with a 12-hour window. Maybe you cut off at 7 p.m. and you don't eat the next day till 7 a.m. Or you can start to gradually slide to 14 or 16 hours and maybe try night fasting, where you cut off at 3 p.m. and have your final meal of the day, or 4 p.m. and you don't eat until the next day until 8 a.m. Stick with those early eating windows when possible, breakfast and lunch or dinner, and skip the dinner and certainly skip the dessert. Add in drinking water. Have some black coffee in the morning or plain tea during your fasting period. Don't binge during your eating window. Just focus on whole foods, proteins, fibers. And remember, fasting is not about starving yourself. It's about giving your body a break so that it can burn fat, so that it can clean up damaged cells, so that it can reset your hormones naturally. And best of all of that costs you nothing. In fact, it saves you money, and it is the easiest meal plan you'll ever follow because you're skipping a meal. That's what makes fasting one of the most powerful and practical fat loss tools in your tool belt. All right, that was my full playbook of the cheapest fat burning strategies that actually work. If you want even more of my best fat loss tip habits that move the needle quickly, then don't miss the next video. It's the exact routine I'd follow if I had to lose 30 pounds fast. It's helped over 1 million people already, and it'll give you the structure to put everything into motion. I'll include a link to that video here. Click it to watch it next, and I'll see you there.